Welcome to Win with lifestyle entrepreneurs Josh Williams and Justin Knoll. Each week, we will be bringing you inspiring people or messages to help you win in every aspect of life. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a phenomenal Friday. It is, we got a little different background going on in here today, Justin. We literally just switched this up in the last 10 minutes, but we're excited about it. We got a new little look. Come with you, right?
We're trying, man.
That's what we're doing.
We're trying
every week. Hey, we had some exciting stuff happen over the last week, and I want to make sure that everybody knows what happened, and that is the fact that we launched our actual podcast. We are on several different things. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. I mean, there's a list, and we'll put it on here so you guys can see it. We also launched our YouTube channel, which was pretty legit.
Man.
Like our trailer, I think I've watched it 125 times, and there's been 127 views. So
I'm the other two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So between launching the actual podcast, launching the YouTube channel, those things are rolling, and we got things going, man.
Yeah, it's good. This is what we've been working on. We wanted to build a library so we could bring to you guys and something you could listen to consistently and get something from. Going forward, we're going to tighten things up a little bit. Yep. Today we do not have a guest. We're going to kind of recap what we've learned personally from meeting all these amazing people and hearing their stories. So we'll share that with you. We do want to tighten this up a little bit. We're going to work on the sound. We're going to work on the video. We're going to work on the timing and all that good stuff. So we're trying to get better, right?
We are. Hey, it's why we do it, right? We're trying to get better. We're trying to bring you guys amazing guests to help you get better. I heard this amazing analogy yesterday. Every morning I listen to some kind of motivational something to get my day going. And yesterday I listened to an analogy of a guy sitting in a rowboat and just going with the flow instead of putting the oars in the water, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to do, is show you guys or bring to you guys all the different guests that we have and how they're putting their oars in the water and how they're creating their direction of where they're going in their life or their careers and their family and those things. And so I love that, because there's a lot of times in life where I will pull the oars out and I'll start rowing, but then I get complacent or I lose my focus and whatever that might be. And then I'm just hoping that the wind will push me or the current will take me.
Yeah. And
it's when I am able to plug into, obviously, my partner Justin, and I'm able to plug into the other people. Look at that hand just crazily coming in there right there. But when I'm able to plug into those different people, that is when I'm able to put my oars back in the water and start rowing. And it seems way effective for me when I'm able to plug into people and help see where they've been and what direction they're going in and where they're headed. That helps me get ready to get in more, excited to get things going for me.
Yeah. We talked yesterday about the oars in the water, and I went home and thought about that too. And I think both of us tend to take on a whole lot.
Yeah.
Probably more than we should or could.
Yeah.
If we're being real. And I think that's what I've heard. The consistencies and the stories we've heard over the last several months is the people we have on here that are high achievers and doing really well are doing less things, but doing the things they do really great.
Absolutely.
Right. So they're not taking on too much. And I think both of us are guilty of saying, yes, I can take that on. And the power of no, it doesn't mean you don't care, you don't want to serve. It just means knowing your boundaries, your realities of what you can and cannot do. And I think for me going forward, I've got to do less things and be more focused on being greater at those things that I am committed to.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're on the same page, because I think we do. And then the next thing you know, you're tired and you do want to pull the oars in and kind of rest for a minute. And it's like, man, at the pace we're going, there is no time for rest.
Yeah, and if you want to hit your goals, I mean, we know that there is a time for rest, but you have to schedule that rest in. You have to be effective with that rest, right? So Todd, who came on, who obviously owner, president, what's his title?
He's the owner and CEO of Madison.
There you go.
Todd Narlinger, yeah.
Yeah, so, he comes on and talks about every 12 weeks he takes a vacation. So it's that rest, but it's doing it on purpose. So it's not taking that rest like we talked. You get home, you're super tired, you fall asleep on the couch. You probably don't sleep very well because you're on the couch. You might have eaten a sleeve of Thin Mints prior to that, so you don't feel good either.
Who would do that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's keep moving on. So, it's really being on purpose with what you're doing. It's being on purpose with your activities to when you actually need rest. Because if you're still thinking in your head the entire time, yeah, I need that rest, but all you can think about is what you got to do tomorrow or what you need to do when you get back. Are you truly getting that great rest?
Yeah. So one thing I want to commit to going forward is being better at the downtime. Yeah. And so I think when I go home, what I've learned from our amazing people we've been on is exactly that, is unplugging. Yes, they're high producers, they're high achievers, they're constantly doing things, but when they are down, they're down. They're not doing more and not doing it well. I think I see that too many times. People want to keep continuing to go clock in, right? Punch the clock and say, I'm still working.
Yeah.
But you're not doing a good job at it.
Right.
And I found myself doing that a few times. So I'm really going to commit to slowing it down, scheduling more on purpose rest time, checking myself when it is time to rest and go, you know what, I can't just take on. I'm not going to open the laptop. I'm not going to start emailing and just think I'm knocking things out. I've got to do a better job of that. And that is one thing I've been reminded of through this group is, man, if you're going to be a high achiever and do it the right way, you've got to rest yourself.
Oh, I agree too.
So,
I mean, and the other thing is Damian Brown came on it. That was last week. And then I've also done Passing the Positive with him. And as we're recapping these people, one thing that he said is that you have to enjoy the process, right? Yeah. And so you can't do that if you're not in the right mindset. Like, mindset's so important. And if you're not in the right mindset, then you cannot enjoy the process. Yeah. And so through this, you have to really enjoy that. So when you get to the end, you can look back and really have that satisfaction of, yes, I worked my ass off, but I got there.
Right.
And through that process, I had so many transitions in my life and so many good things that I developed and learned. I love that piece of it. I think you really need to enjoy the process. You need to be rested so you can enjoy that process.
The journey is almost more enjoyable than the destination at times.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that road trip, and then you get somewhere and it's all good and it was fun, but you're almost like, man, part of it was getting here. It was so fun doing some different things. And so that's the other thing is slow it down, trust exactly the process, and enjoy the process. It's huge. We're moving too fast. I think that's what I've recognized this year for me personally. Things are moving too fast, and it's all in my control. I can control those things. And so I've got to do a better job of grabbing a hold of my personal time, my work time, and being more efficient and effective with that time. But it's definitely something I've recognized. And boy, you come on here and you talk to these people and you just walk away going, how do I even get out of bed in the morning, right?
Exactly,
like, this is crazy. I'm getting nothing done. But it's an eye-opener, and changes have to be made if we're going to continue to be trying to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm wide open for trying to get better at this. Holy cow.
100%. So some of the other things that I really liked is some of the people that we've had on here is how they plug into getting better, right? So the reading and the podcasts and those types of things. And I know you really said, hey, I'm going to try to get some more reading going on. How's that going for you? What are you pulling from the other people that helps you stay motivated on that reading piece?
Yeah, so the feeding your soul and your brain, right? It's been a huge piece. I've not been home much lately. Yeah. My nights have pushed me till 10, 11 o'clock getting home with certain events and things that I'm doing. So when I get home, I'm wiped out. So I've got to find better time, whether it be in the morning or over a lunch break, to get in my 10 pages because I want to get that 10 pages a day. I've done pretty good. I've been reading a lot of content online, but I still like the book. I think there's something about the book that makes me feel a little more connected to the story. So I've got to do better at that. I have been taking in a lot of good content though recently. The Malcolm Gladwell books always are so good to me. He is so extraordinary. Reading Outliers again and going through that, and it's just a reminder that there's so many things out of your control, but the things that are in your control, it's very redundant. We've heard all these things, but it's so cool to see all these stories about how the forces sometimes work against you, right? The luck of nature is sometimes just against you, and you have to find a way somehow to make things work. And some people are given a gift right off the bat. In that book, it references your birthday can really truly affect if you make professional sports or not. The
Yeah.
year, or not the year, but the month in which you were born.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see the stats of how this plays out. And so there's some guys that are behind the 8 ball already, just from being born at the wrong time.
Isn't it crazy how parents are starting to realize that now? And so they're actually holding their kids back a year so that 1 month, if say they're a January and now they're, one of the oldest, or if they're December and they're the absolute youngest, they're like, nope, we're going to hold them back a year so they can be the oldest on that team.
Yeah.
And it's effective.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's just things like that. There's so many forces at play that we're not plugged into. And that book for me reminds me of be more aware of what else is out there, the forces at play in your nature, whether they're working with or against you, recognizing them and doing something with it and about it. But that's been good. So I've been taking in a lot of content. I'm really digging on podcasts right now again. I mean, the How I Built This is my favorite thing going. I mean, I am addicted to that podcast. But a lot of positivity coming into my brain and soul right now, which feels good. I feel energized for that. So how about you?
Well, I mean, that's the biggest thing is I'm trying to get those positive things in, there's so much negativity. I try not to, I will turn the news on for the weather and then it's off, right? So I get the weather, which yes, I could just look at on my phone, but for some reason I like to hear them tell me how they're going to be wrong. Yeah, right? Cat Saban, what's up, Catty? But, so yeah, I like to, there's that, but otherwise I'm just trying the same thing, feed positivity in my mind all the time. Started doing passing the positives again because I felt like that was missing from Facebook and from my life. So I started doing those interviews again and bringing those back. And then, the books, my nephew, who is a stud, man, and he actually suggested we read a book called Take the Stairs. And so I just downloaded that one. And there is something, like you said, being said about grabbing the book. So even though I'm trying to get my 10 pages in, I'm still listening when I'm driving. So I'm still educating in my writing college, right? Or whatever it is every day. But there is that tangible of grabbing the book, grabbing the pen, taking some notes, highlighting the things that are key. Those things seem to stick in my brain a little bit more than if I just heard it when I'm driving because, you still have those distractions. So that is one thing I've heard other people say is, yes, I do listen to those things as I'm going, but they're really also putting that education time in. Bruce Lund is a huge person that says this. He goes, I might listen to something motivational, whatever, while I'm on the treadmill, but I'm still giving myself the 30 minutes every day to actually plug into education because I need to make sure I'm doing it on purpose and I'm focused when I'm doing it. So yes, do it when you're on the treadmill if you want to, or listen to whatever gets you going, but you still need to give yourselves that 30 minutes of every single day to educate yourself actually with purpose and on when you need to do that.
Yeah.
You're going to get more out of it.
It's interesting. We had an investment class the other day. We bring in some of our agents here in the company and just talk about their experiences of owning properties, flipping properties, developing stuff, and really great conversation. But one of the guys, Jason Ellis, brought several books that he reads.
Yeah.
And it was the Rich Dad Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon. Those type books. And so I left there again. I've read all those books, but I immediately was like, this is the place where I'm going. I'm getting back into the investment side of things and excited about it. But I need to plug into those books. So I've got this fire inside now to read and really get some more information inside. Even if I've read them before, there's still a great reminder. So I'm pretty pumped, and that doesn't always happen with reading.
My background is I have to read it twice because if I read it the first time, I'm like, what did I just read?
What just happened?
Can someone give me the cliff notes of that? Because I think I got to chapter 6, and I don't remember reading chapter 3, 4, and 5. So there is something to be said about reading books a second time. What's really cool is if you take that highlighter the second time and you figure out the other things that you highlighted the second read through and how many things you missed on the first one. So that's one thing that I've tried to do as well is if I read a book the second time, take a different color highlighter, different color pen for notes, and do those things so I can see, wow, let's see either how much I've grown and how different things apply to me or what did I miss the first time through? So I love those things as well.
Yep. So I've been thinking about the takeaways, right, from the last few months of doing this.
Yeah.
That is one for me, is reading 10 pages a day. Reading 10 pages a day is something I will and can commit to. I'm excited about. I know it's going to move the needle for me and get me back into the right mindset. So that is one of my top takeaways from all this, and hopefully we can help you guys with some of your takeaways as well. Here we go.
I love how we do this random hand coming through.
This?
Coral showing off the tattoo right there. She's like flexing coming in. She's like, what's up, Ben Archuleta? What's up, everybody else watching? Hey, appreciate you guys plugging in.
What are some of your takeaways that you've got out of this? Things that you're either implementing or going, man, that is a consistent behavior or something we've seen all the way through.
So the 10 pages is also something big. So actually I do a book club, and when I went and did this book club, that was one of the things that I committed to, is saying, hey, I'm going to do 10 pages a day because I know I can commit to 10 pages a day. Think about that. I don't enjoy reading, but I can read a 300-page book in a month. Like, that's pretty crazy. Right. Like, yes, I do mortgages for a living, so I just did that math, and that was phenomenal. So, but yes, the 10 pages a day was phenomenal. The take a vacation every 12 weeks that is huge for me, because I don't take real vacations. I don't take real downtime. And it's very difficult to do on my side of the business because I need to be there. But I've had to learn to let go a little bit and trust my team. Right. And let them kind of run the role when I need. Maybe for me, if I'm taking a week vacation, maybe 2 of those days I truly shut down. Yeah. I personally don't feel like I can do a week. Right. But it's just the fact of taking vacation on purpose. I love that Todd said that. I'm trying to implement that. I'm going on one in 2 weeks, headed out. And we don't even know where we're going yet. That's the fun thing. We're literally packing a bag for a destination that has a beach, and we're going to go to the airport and figure out where we're going, which is just taking a risk, and we're going. It's going to be fun.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so we might end up in Puerto Rico. We might end up in Key West. We might end up in California. We might end up in Hawaii. But we won't know until probably the day before or the day of where we're going. Wow. So we're gonna go after it. We're gonna enjoy it, and we're gonna see where it takes us. But taking that from Todd, taking the 10 pages a day, those are 2 things that I absolutely have implemented into my life. Outside, I mean, there's so many others, but those are 2 that come to the top of my mind right away.
Yeah. I think the other thing is absolute clarity. The thing I've noticed between everybody that we have is they are very clear in who they are, very clear on what they do and what they do not do. As important as what they do is the things they say they do not do. Yes. And whether it was a conversation online, on the show, or outside of that with them, it was, I don't do that. Yeah. I don't go there. That's not what I do. Yeah. That takes away time. That takes away energy, effort. I just don't want to give to that. So sometimes I go back to it, saying no to some of those things, but doubling down on the things you do really well and you want to do, and spending your time in those areas. That's been a reminder to me is finding the clarity on what you actually love to do and just doubling down and going for it. And that's what this group has done. They don't mess around and say, well, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. And no, they are headfirst into what they're passionate about. And for me, I've got to reorganize some thoughts and make sure I'm there.
And it's kind of fun to see that they've all started somewhere. So I love the fact that we get a story from each of them. They started somewhere that wasn't where they're at. Totally. None of these guys that we've sat with have been in Silver Spoon, right? They've all worked their butts off to get to where they're at. Yep. That excites me. I mean, that is our background. That's where we came from. We weren't given the Silver Spoon. I mean, I remember just recently talking with my 2 older kids about having the food stamps and not having the food to eat and going to the church for food and losing the house for bankruptcy. Everybody we've talked to have gone through struggles. Yep. To hear what they have done to come out of those struggles. I mean, look at Tyrone. I mean, my gosh, man, his mom was shot. He moves from Denver to Dallas, where it's the first time he's ever met his dad. And think about the trials that guy went through. And then he comes back and he's playing football without his mom knowing. I mean, just the dedication to what he knew he wanted to do as a young age. These are all, you guys, everybody starts somewhere. We all go through struggles. And to know that other people have hit significant successful levels in their life, like you, and they've had to go through those same struggles, is so fun to see and so refreshing to know that we can do it. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 30. You're going to hit some rough patches. These guys are going to help you, show you how to get through it, and you can get where you want to go. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
That brings me to the support system.
Yes.
That's the other thing I pulled from this is having your support system, knowing who they are, keeping that group small, and making sure your group that you want support from. If you're trying something, you're trying a new job, I've got this new product I'm doing, I've got this thing I'm working on, I'm trying to lose some pounds.
What?
Sleeve of Thin Mints. It's that support system that you have to be absolutely clear with and engage them in your story and what you're doing. And I think all of our guests have done a really good job of understanding who's on their team, what they got to do to get their team fired up to help them, and the accountability piece.
Yeah,
that is it. So this has been fun to hear from some amazing people.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys are getting something out of it. I know I am.
I mean, we're like 15 plus deep episodes in, and just to hear what we've pulled from it, and we hope that everybody else is pulling from it. That excites me to do another 15, right?
Yeah.
And 15 new guests.
Right.
And then excites me to do a 15 more. I mean, the fact that we are learning so much, and I'll be honest with you, I know I need to learn so much more, but I did feel like I was in a pretty good spot of stuff that I had learned. Yeah. And this has kind of really grounded me even more going, Josh, you're getting there.
Yeah.
But the road is still really long.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're right. It's a lot of fun.
It's kind of scary.
Right.
Oh, I got work to do.
That's the other great thing, though, is these guys are also working towards something.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We have to remind ourselves, we have our stepdaughter who's a high achiever in school, does really well. She's a sophomore this year, and there's so much pressure built on these kids, right? They're starting to think about college. She's a sophomore thinking about college.
Yep.
And already choosing a major. She's stressing out about choosing a major already, and she's not even done with high school, right? And I had to just slow her down and say, honey, enjoy what you're doing, right? Because what you decide to do today is not going to be the same of what you want to do 2 years from now.
Right.
And she was like, well, no, I really want to do this. And that's great. Go for it if you're that excited about it. But also know that the average person changes careers 9 times.
Wow, yeah.
9 times we change careers in our life.
That's so accurate in my life. As I look back, I mean, it might be like 30, but let's go at 9 for now.
Right. But you just have to remind yourself that, look, where I am today is not where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
And we get so drawn into the to-do list, the checklist. We create all these things we've got to do, but we forget that it's the journey that we're learning from. So I wanted to slow her down, and so I asked her in a very slow, monotone, voice, and we talked it through. I said, tell me things you're noticing right now. When you close your eyes and you think about where you are right now, just throw words at me. Just how does it feel? What are you seeing? What are your emotions? All that stuff. And we started talking about it, and I tried to recenter her in today. Yeah. Right. Today is the most important day. Yes, we want to achieve tomorrow, but man, focus on what you're doing today. And I think so many of us just forget that. It's like I'm thinking already about what I'm doing 2 weeks from now.
You can't live on purpose in that day if you're constantly thinking about those things. So as I was listening to the or analogy the other day, there was also a part that came on with Matthew McConaughey, who said, somebody asked him, who's your role model? He said, well, I am 10 years from now. And I was like, that's super cool, right? He's like, because the person I'm trying to be is who I want my role model to be 10 years from now. And then they said, okay, well, what do you do when you get to, he's like, that's what I was thinking when I was 25 and I got to 35. And they said, so when you got to 35, what was your thoughts? He goes, my role model is who I'm going to be 10 years from there, because I had a huge growth from 25 to 35, but I'm still not who I want to be. So from 35 to 45, I'm going to create this other person, this other role model of who I want to be. And that's how he is looking at it. So goes right along with how I think it's kind of cool to educate our children. Like, hey, listen, have these role models, but make sure you want to be that person 10 years from now. So yeah, you're focused on what your major is and what you want to do in college and all those things, but think about what you're going to do at that point and then live every day on purpose to get to that point.
I love that.
That's pretty good.
I'm writing that down.
Well, go with it. The other thing that I got to is, specifically with like Reggie Rivers, is the ability to take risks and do that. So I'm going to give a quick little personal story. I talked to my daughter the other day. She was contemplating whether she was going to stay local and do. She's got a great job. She's certified, or what is she? A CNA, certified nursing assistant. She does a great job with that. She's done a lot of work to get where she's at, to have the job that she wants, that allows her to go to school and gives her some stuff. But there's an opportunity for her to go move out of state, do something that's different, and do door-to-door sales, which, oh my gosh, everybody watches this goes, are you kidding me? But it's a great opportunity for her to make a lot of money and get herself out of her comfort zone. And the talk I had to have with her is, Maya, if you don't take risks, and I was thinking back about Reggie and how many, ancillary things he has on the side of what he does, and they're all risk-based, but he just goes and does these things because he knows he needs them. And I said, Maya, if you don't take these risks now, you don't want to look back and say, what if I would have done that? What if I would have done that? Go take this risk. Live it. If you don't love it, guess what? You're 19 years old. 19 years old. Most people don't find their career until their 30s.
Yep.
Right? So go take the risk, have fun, enjoy that process, and then let's revisit it and see where we go from there.
See where it goes.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
I don't think enough of us take risks enough. We're so scared to take those risks. I will tell you, not to toot my own little horn, but I've taken risks since I was in high school, really since I was a kid. Started up businesses, failed. Started up business, fail. Started up business, fail. Do some network marketing, fail. Whatever it might be, I've failed a lot, but I have been able to grow so much by taking risks.
Right.
Like, you just have to do it. And the other thing you spoke about is you need that support staff behind you. I think it was Reggie as well talking about the candle, right? And you don't want that person to come in when you got this new opportunity and they just blow it out.
Right.
Before it even has an opportunity to grow.
Right.
You've taken risks in your career. You've done a lot of those. Like, how do you surround yourself with those people at that time? How do you choose the people you surround yourself with? Because literally, it could be your wife who blows that candle out.
For me, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was previously. I didn't have, and shame on me for not having a clear enough message of what I was trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn the focus onto somebody else. It was my issue of not having a clear enough driven message about why I wanted to do something. Maybe I said, I want to go do this, but I didn't give the why behind it. I didn't give the strategy behind how I was going to do it. I didn't give the pot of gold view of it at the end of the rainbow. Let's be like, this is what I'm hoping it turns out to be. It was just, well, I want to go do this. And if you're not on board, then right. And so that's that immaturity coming through at the time. But I think one thing I've done since then is realize, man, don't blame the recipient of the message, blame the messenger. And I had to turn internally and say, okay, well, I did not do a good enough job of explaining what I wanted to do and why it was so important to me. And if I do that and I'm absolutely clear and I still don't have that support, man, I'm moving on. I'm not worried about why they're not on board. I'm not worried about how I can convince them otherwise. If I have to convince somebody to do something, they're not going to do it the way I want it done. Or the way it should be done. So I'm not going to spend my time in that realm. I'm just going to go pivot and say, all right, then who is in? If I could tell my story to somebody else and say, who is in with me, that is huge. And it usually is the people you don't think about first. And it's usually somebody that can help you go to that next level that you didn't even think could.
Yeah.
So the more people you can get in your message and understanding what you're trying to do, great, share it, but then look for a few people. Keep that group small and focused. You don't need a huge group. It's got to be a focused group. So that's one thing that I've done. I don't know if it works, but try it.
Something's working. Doing good, man. Doing good.
I'm just tired.
Let's do this real quick. Let's transition.
Yeah.
We have a fat kid moment of the week every week, and we're it's just us today, which is the true fat kids. So sometimes we get these skinny people between us, and I'm like, just want to put them in a headlock and do something. But today, let's talk about the fat kid moment. So I'll start, and this is really bad. So in transparency, people know that I've been trying to diet, which is the first problem. First of all, you don't try.
Yep.
You do it.
Do it.
And the second thing is you don't call it a diet. This is a transition in your life to become healthy, right? It's not a diet. It's a meal plan.
Yeah.
It's you being focused on what you need to do to be a healthier you. And diets don't work. No. You got to transition. Your paradigm shift needs to be in your head on how you're going to get to that point. Yeah. Let's just say, let's call it a relapse, okay? So I hit it good for about a week, and then all hell fell loose. So last night I weighed in at the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
Ever.
207.5, 207.5, and I took a picture to remind myself never to be there again. You guys, some people might be like, 207, Josh, that's right. You guys, I'm 5'6.5", 5'7" with heels on, okay? That is not okay. That is not okay. I got to get it right. My brother will tell you, your belly, don't hang over your dicky do, right? Yeah, so that's an issue, right? So
we call that the Dunlap.
The Dunlap has happened.
Got Dunlapped over the belt.
Right, exactly. So trying to get that right. So here's what happened this last week. I was leaving my office, and I just happened to find that myself, bought some Thin Mints, and there was a whole sleeve, and I was hungry. You guys, I have polished off three Thin Mint sleeves in the last week. If my wife is watching this right now, she is going to whoop my ass when I get home. But, one of them's been in the morning. The other one is I was leaving. I hadn't eaten yet. So here's the thing. If you grab a sleeve, you're going to eat. It's going. It's gone. I mean, it's funny because I got Coral in the background over here like dying because she's like that fatty, right? But that's it. I grab a sleeve. Those sleeves go quick. So I've done 3 sleeves in the last week. And so it's not a fat kid moment. It's a fat kid week. We got to get that right.
Let's get it right.
But I will tell you, those are damn good. Damn you, Girl Scouts.
Damn you. I think it was National Oreo Day the other day.
I saw that. Your wife posted that.
Yeah, she posted that. And I'm like, really? This is what we're doing? So she thought it'd be a good idea to bring home some like organic Oreos. I'm like, oh, here we go. They were good as hell. And I started eating them last night. I think I had like 5 or 6. And you just like, man, it goes fast, right?
It does.
It's crazy because the rationale is, what's one more? It's just one more.
Right.
I've already had 10. What's 11?
Right.
At some point, you got to just draw the line and say, this is not good. I got to give myself, here's 2 Thin Mints for the night. Do with them what you will, but that's all you get. There's no third. So I don't know if we need to padlock the pantries or I don't know what we need to do.
Put a lock on that for sure.
But it's been tough. I will tell you, I think for me, I've not been able to go out and run or walk in the morning because it's been so cold.
Yeah.
And the treadmill I've been hitting, but it's just not as much. It's not as energizing for me. And so I've been not burning as much, but I've been so hungry because this cold weather is just like, I just am shivering all the time. So I just feel hungry all the time. And I'm trying to make good decisions and all that. But, man, do you want the salad or fries? I'm like,
give me the fries, please.
But I'll take some ranch dressing because that's more like a salad, right?
Exactly.
Now you double down on stupid.
I love it.
I think the reality is, Josh, is diets to me are temporary. Diet is something you're trying for now to lose a little bit, to make something change for the short term.
Yeah.
For me, you're absolutely right. It is the long-term change. So I would challenge both of us to say, on Sundays, we need to carve out time to do some meal preps.
Yeah.
We need to actually go to the store with our wives and our families and have a say in what's being brought into our house because we're not. And the only person we can blame for opening the cookies is us. We can't blame them for bringing
100%.
them in.
Yep.
And so we have the power of control. So let's try and control some of the food prep stuff. Let's control what's coming into the house. Let's control some of those. Let's talk to each other. Have an accountability partner. But man, I've definitely felt it. Right. It's not great. So
damn fat kid moments.
Real.
Well, let's do this, man. You guys, we're going to be back next week with another guest. We'll get things going there. This is a lot of fun for us to recap, and with you guys that plug in all the time, the things that we've learned, and hoping that you guys are getting some benefit from us doing this podcast and webcast, and you guys are really enjoying it. I will tell you that I know that most people are because our numbers keep rising up and people plugging in, and we love that. If there's anything else you guys would like for us to do, we are game. We are trying to make sure that this is a benefit for you and that we're giving back to help you guys become better at what you want to do and what you want to be in life. So
feedback
for sure. Yes.
Tell us what you want. I mean, we're here to listen to you guys. You're the audience. So bring it.
Bring it.
Next week, we're going to have Pam Lippett, who is my coach. I have a coach, and she helps me through everything in life. Yeah. Not much happens without her knowing. And so we want to bring her in and just kind of talk about accountability and setting a pace that works for you and being clear in what you're trying to do and the struggles and being real with it and things that she'll bring some tips and things people can do now to start achieving a little bit. So we're excited for that.
That's going to be awesome. Yes. So. All right, guys. Well, hey, plug in, take the little things that you can and implement those into your life. That's what we were talking about today is what did we learn over the last 15 episodes and what are the things that we've implemented? And actually, we've enlightened me on a few more things that I need to, implement into my life starting, even today. So plug into those things. Try to be the best you. Share that with people. Help them become the best them. And, just go out there and spread positivity throughout everything.
Sounds awesome, man.
There we go.
You get me fired up.
There we go.
Let's go.
Guys, nothing but love for you. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Peace. Later.